Hey guys, it's Kelly in California, and I have stopped off here at Iron Pony Nursery in North Monterey County. It's a local nursery owned by Maribel and Ed Salinas, who've turned their passion for plants and gardening into a retirement gig. Let's go meet up with Maribel and find out more about her business here and her love for plants and how that started. Let's go. See if we can find her.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi. What are you doing over there?
Well, I'm always doing something with plants. So this morning I was just getting some plants ready to put them in a container.
You've always had a love for plants and, background with some gardening in your family.
Yes.
And you were a school teacher. And then how did it morph into having a nursery here with Ed?
Well, I taught until 2019. I retired, and we knew that this little area here was going to be something. And it was my father-in-law that sort of put the bug in our ear because he saw the love that we had for plants. Edward with bonsai, and of course me with the
We'll talk about the
everything.
bonsai later.
And then of course me with colorful plants and succulents. And he says, I should just start a nursery. And that was it. It just kind of stayed in my head, and that bug was in there about the nursery. So then I kept looking over in this direction from our house, and it used to be like the area where all the steel and iron was kept. This little the metal boneyard we used to call it, and we started cleaning it up and bringing in plants that we had and adding more and more to it. And then we thought, we should share our love of plants with people because there are in this area, and I know everywhere, but especially in this area where we live, there are so many amazing gardeners here.
There
It
are a
is
lot
amazing.
of gardeners in the area that like to garden and, do mixed gardening like we do with the succulents, but other plants as well, like lavender. And I share something else too, in that we love the rustic garden look.
Yes.
Yes.
I love it. I love iron and anything rusty metal. I love that stonework, woodwork. I just really
I also
gravitated
love
to that.
cottage gardens, so the mix of
Yes.
them. So in the springtime, I can do that with annuals,
Yes.
and kind of have that cottage garden feel,
the pretty flowers and
but rustic too. And
Yes.
so I love that. So it kind of morphed then from school teacher to retirement. Did you start the nursery before you retired?
No, I retired in May of 2019, and then in June of 2019 we opened the nursery. And believe me, it was just skeletal in here. It was bare bones, but people would come. They wanted to find out, I think, what are they doing up there? And yet those same customers that were with us from the beginning, they're still coming. And now
That's what I was going to ask
Yes.
you. Do you have a lot of regular customers
regular
that stop
customers a
in?
lot who were just, just so faithful to trust, that we would give them a good product. And if we tell people, if we, especially with the bonsai, if we sell you a bonsai and for some reason you have questions about the bonsai, or you want to transplant it, bring it back. We will help you. My husband will sit down with you. He's sort of the go-to on with the bonsai.
And he's an experimenter too. You talk
He
about
is.
how you like to experiment, but he's into bonsai and
Yes.
all kinds of neat
Yes.
grafting type things.
That's what he
And
likes.
is there anything that he hasn't tried to bonsai?
We always hear of different plants that can be bonsaied. Right now he has a rose that he is trying to bonsai, and it looks pretty neat. I like it, especially when it has a couple of roses on it and they start to bloom. They're beautiful. But his favorite, as you can see, are the Japanese maples.
And I can see why.
They're
Definitely.
everywhere.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
They are beautiful.
What is this, Maribel?
This one right
It's
here?
like a conifer?
Yes, that one is.
Wow.
Oh, Michael.
That's pretty.
It is.
You made mushrooms
Yes,
out of
they're right
cement.
here.
That is
Looks like a
cute.
child made 'em.
That is
I made 'em.
adorable. This is beautiful. I love this. And this is what I mean. Maribel's so good at making containers and they just look so beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow. And the little bird's nest with eggs. Isn't that precious? Where do you come up with these ideas?
You know, I learned how to make a bird's nest. I believe I was on YouTube, and there was a woman. I was just, scrolling through it, and she was making bird nests out of dried little branches and whatnot. And so I learned that, and so I started making some, and then adding, of course, little plastic eggs to it.
That is
So
cute.
you can make your own bird's nest with
Love that.
everything you have in your garden.
Love that. This is the Japanese maple I have my eye on. I'm going to put a sticker on it that says sold on layaway.
It is nice. It has a nice little.
It does. It's
cascading fall to
beautiful.
it.
I love it. I love it. Oh, and this is the cactus. This is the greenhouse that Ed made from windows
Yes. Yes.
and doors,
and
obviously.
doors. So we are like the recycling king and queen here. Recycling
I love that. I love to repurpose things too.
oh yeah.
Wow.
We say upcycle. We're upcycling it. We had a young customer. She came and bought a little cactus that was in one of these little El Pato containers, and she loved it so much that several months later she came back to tell me that everyone that goes to her house loves her cactus in the El Pato
It is
salsa
funny.
fresco container. And she says, I love it so much that I ended up getting this tattooed on my calf.
Oh
So
my
she showed me
gosh.
her calf, and
Oh,
she
that
had
is
this whole thing
funny.
tattooed right on the calf.
They are cute.
It's
adorable.
Okay, all right, sounds good.
Could do something like that with enchilada sauce.
There you go.
Now look at these beautiful in the fountain, another fountain. Beautiful maples. Look at this.
Yes.
Is this a lace?
Lace leaf maple. And then that is just a green Japanese maple that will turn the colors in the fall of orange and yellow and red.
Beautiful.
Yes. In the fall, they just put on this massive show.
Yeah.
The maples are
And
like
this
that.
one
Some of
right
them
here
have
tucked in the
started
corner above the fountain is beautiful too. Yeah. This is so peaceful. I keep saying that, but it's so true. It's just so in the bird cages. Yeah.
Yes. And then it lights up at night. So all the solar lights will come on at night. So it's all lit up under here. It is really magical. And that word magical, I hear say over and over from the customers. It's just magical.
It really is.
And that stays in my head. And
Yeah,
it is.
it's fun
nice.
too. It's really fun, and I just love the fountain. Did Ed put that together?
Yes, he did.
Wow.
Yes, he did. It was in pieces when we bought it, secondhand, and I believe I think she was broken like from the waist, but Edward was able to kind of cement it together, and now it just has that nice old look to it.
Yeah.
Which I love.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
I think it's too hard to keep something that's really perfect. Not here, anyways. We can't keep perfect here, and that's okay because we're not. So it works.
Yeah.
For passion fruit. Yes.
Wow.
So the
That's
plant,
amazing.
the plant just kind of grew from that little arbor there. That it grew all the way in through the oak tree, and look at there's some here. And it started. It's never done that before. This passion fruit must be about 3 years old, and I let it go. I let it go because it seems like sometimes it wasn't going to do anything, and I was going to pull it out, and then all of a sudden this. So I let it go, and I kind of am enjoying this. It just looks like little avocados hanging there, but I know they're passion fruit.
Yeah, it's really neat actually. It almost looks like you planned it.
Yeah.
Right through the oak
Yes.
tree. Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing. I
That's
like
a lot
it.
of
I like
fun.
the way it looks. It's just that we have to, I think, hang something there so people don't hit their head on the passion fruit.
So this is the she shed. What do you call it? Is it your barn?
Barn with houseplants. So the houseplants do really well in there. In the front, there are some plants that can be outdoors, in the morning sun, afternoon shade. But once you get back in there, they're the houseplants that you would want in your house.
What is this, Maribel?
This right here is called it's a frill, and it has these little pink flowers. There's one on this side as well. It has these little pink flowers that come out, and it's so pretty. And it has a sort of like a velvety feel to the leaf. And that's another thing that we like too. We like things that have a different feel. If it's velvety, if the leaf has a different jagged edges. So that's, I think when you love plants, you take notice of these things.
Yeah.
So it's not
That is
just a leaf,
beautiful.
it's a velvety feeling leaf.
Mm-hmm.
It has jagged edges, different things like that.
Like your little birdhouse up here too with the geraniums, and then you've got your succulents.
And some lavender.
So cute. So here you've got all your little, now do you make stuff too, or do you just collect things like these little garden ornaments?
Yeah, so sometimes I make things, and sometimes I put things together. Like this is a little sailboat, and it's so fitting because we live on the coast, and I thought I would just fill it up with maybe something that's tall, like a sail, on a
Yeah, that is
sailboat.
funny. That is cute. Yep. Oh, this is beautiful. So pretty.
And then this year I learned, and I'm still learning, the art of kokedama, which is Japanese, like a Japanese pot. So what they do is you just take twine and you take your plant and you put it into a piece of fabric that's very wet, and you can mold it. And a lot of people will use Spanish moss or a type of moss. They make it into a ball. It's a little messy project, but it's fun. Then you start wrapping your twine around it to make a little pot for it. And you water it. I water these about once a week, and I've had these probably for about maybe 6 months.
That is really
and they're
neat.
doing really well in there. Yeah, it's just another form of, creating something artistic with the plant. And I just stick my little watering can right in there, and it'll just drink it right up. And then once it's had enough water, of course it doesn't take water in anymore, it'll just be at the top. Then I'll leave it alone for about a week. And this is an island pine or a Norfolk pine. And it's real happy
Well,
in
that's
its little
great.
container.
That is really neat.
Yeah. There's a couple more. There's one right here too. This is an azalea. It likes the morning sun, and then of course the afternoon shade. And then this one will have pink flowers all over it, because azaleas love, some morning sun, and then they love the afternoon shade where it's not so strong on it.
That is really interesting. And the creativity that you have, and you can just tell her love, her hands are on everything, and these hands are loving everything and putting things together in beautiful little arrangements with the succulents and other plants, and using your rustic, things that you find. And it's just really, really neat. I love it.
Well, thank you. I think that's what, teaching and then wanting to share what I know kind of led into the workshops that we have here. So we have several workshops during the year. The biggest ones are the succulent Christmas trees that we have, and I'll send you some pictures of those. And then also the succulent pumpkins, and then fairy gardens and fairy teacups. But it just keeps on going, because people will bring their kids, and then the kids are learning, and I think that's exciting to me as a teacher, to be able to teach the next generation about
Yes.
the love of caring
Right.
for a plant or a tree.
I agree, absolutely, and I think it's great. And my daughter doesn't garden outside so much, but she's the indoor plant
Hmm.
person, and she's got her collections. And my granddaughter told her, "Mom, I think you have too many plants." And so
That's not
she told
possible.
Catherine, she's like, "I think you have too many toys."
It's not possible to have too many plants. I already know
I
that.
know. Well, I brought you more future plants.
Oh, okay.
These are
Yes.
seeds that I collected the other day, Rudbeckia.
Oh,
They're the
wow.
traditional black-eyed Susan,
They,
and yeah,
they're so
so I
tiny.
hope you
Okay.
like
Oh,
them.
thank you so much.
But
I will
they
plant them.
do well in our climate,
Okay.
and so
Well, thank you so much for
you're
sharing that.
welcome. So
Yes.
hopefully that will, you'll be able to grow those and
Uh-huh.
maybe, pass those on to other people in the community
Well,
too.
thank you
So
so much.
that's fun.
I appreciate
When I first came this week to visit, you were sitting at the table doing a project. I don't remember what it was, but I imagine that's what you do all the time. You're like, "Oh, I got a new project."
it. Yes.
So
Yes.
if
But
people
I have
want to get in touch with you and find out when, because you're not always open, you're open on
open
Saturdays.
on
You have
Saturdays,
from 10 to
10
4.
to 4. Yes. And usually from April until the beginning of December. We used to open, we used to try to tell people that we would be open like the first weekend of spring, but depending on the rain and
Yeah.
the wet season. So it's almost, April. One season it was so rainy we couldn't open until May. So it just depends, and I think that's the beauty of it too. We're not held down to this really tight schedule where we have to be open by
Right.
March or the beginning of spring. It's not like
Well,
that.
you're in
It's kind of
retirement and
yes.
you want to, it doesn't want to feel like work.
Yeah,
It shouldn't.
we've been on the tight schedules, and right now it just feels like let's just open, one day a week. And my older son was actually the one that said, "What kind of business is only open one day a week?" And my
You're
husband
like
says,
ours.
"Us." And my husband said, "If we were open anymore, we wouldn't like it.
Yeah, it would be a
It would be
job.
like work." And we've
Yeah.
already done that.
Yeah, absolutely. Why shouldn't you have to keep it joyful?
Hmm.
Exactly. And then if people wanted to get in contact with you and maybe they're in not on a Saturday, can they make appointments
Absolutely.
possibly
Yes,
to come
absolutely.
see?
Our Instagram page does say that we're open on Saturday or by appointment during the week. We know a lot of people work on Saturdays, and they can call us. Our number is on our Google page.
I'll
So
put all the links in the
yes,
description of the video below. So we'll get everybody information on the garden here. I call it a garden because it feels more like a garden that you're visiting.
hmm
You're just going to visit Maribel in her garden. And
yeah,
oh, by the way, this is for sale, and this is for sale, and
yeah,
this is
yeah.
for
If you want to
sale.
take this one home, you can take it home.
And you do great deals because you're selling those big containers. What size are they?
The 1 gallon.
1 gallon for
Yes.
$5.
When I
And
propagate my own plants and cuttings, and they start rooting, we bring them out to sell. I feel like I want to give the customers a good deal as well. If it's a plant I already have and I'm propagating off of it, it's not about making the money. And that's another thing, with a nursery. It's not We're not going to become wealthy or any of that. That doesn't matter. The wealth that we find is in building a community, making friends with other gardeners, and watching the kids learn
yes,
planting. We're getting ready to have a ladies' tea party here next Saturday, and again, just having fun out here and making it a place where we can get together and laugh
it's
and
so peaceful too. I mean, it's
yeah.
just so peaceful. I
One of
love
our
it
recent
here.
customers said, "You know what? I feel like bringing my book out here, laying down and reading here all
Can you bring me a
afternoon."
coffee, Maribel?
Yes. Speaking of coffee, we have also added two young women to our Saturday lineup, maybe once or every other month. They come out. So we have Botanical Bean, owned by Allison, and she has her own coffee that she makes here in the gazebo. And then we have Kelly's Cookies, and she just is like the best cookie maker. Amazing.
Oh, fun.
Yes, so they're going to be out here September 14th,
Okay,
and they'll be here from 10 to 2.
great.
Yeah.
That is
So it's a
awesome.
good place. It's a good way to, support the small businesses that are growing.
Yeah.
So
Maribel, I just want to thank you so much for letting me into the garden, letting us film a video today so other people can see your garden and hopefully come to visit you and see all the lovely plants that you have for sale here. I'm really grateful to you. Thank you so much for this experience and for sharing a bit about your life and about what you and Ed here do at the garden and some of your experiences with plants. It's been a lot of fun.
well, thank you for coming, and thank you for taking your time to look at everything that we have here. I know sometimes it takes a long time to look through everything, and we do have a record here. We had a couple come out, and they spent 3.5 hours here, and I welcome you to come and break that record.
Oh,
Bring your
wow.
sandwich, enjoy the nursery, come out, sit
It's a
down.
wonderful day. It's beautiful, I'm telling you. And the dog and the cat, they just make the whole experience a lot of fun. And you have a YouTube channel as well.
Yes,
And so it's Iron Pony, right?
Iron Pony Plant Nursery.
That's right. And I'll put a link or any other contact information she has, like her Instagram and that kind of thing, in the description below in the video. If you're ever in the area or live in the area, you have to stop by Iron Pony Nursery. It's a lot of fun and you won't be disappointed. So much joy to be had here. Come on down.
Thank you. Enjoy your gardens.